I've always been very communicative. I've always been very open. So I let her know, this is my experience in the past. And same thing with her. She kind of let me know where she was at. So I made sure there was no gray area there. I wanted her to know it's not new to me to be in the lifestyle. And then polyamory just kind of gave it its own little twist. I had to learn a lot. So I'm very much an educational person. So I need to read, understand, put my hands around it. I need to experience it. I'm a very much hands-on person. So I think we actively describe ourselves as poly swingers. Yeah. So we enjoy the swing lifestyle. We enjoy the friendship and connections the lifestyle gives us. Yeah. But at the same time, we enjoy the relationship connections that the poly lifestyle gives us.
Yes.
And I want to hear more about your journey through that struggle and the lifestyle and how you navigate parenthood with that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I'd like to welcome to the Amore Podcast for the very first time, Mikey and Ryane. Oh. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, thank you for joining us. So you guys have been a member of the group for a little while, right?
Yes.
Yeah, about how long has it been?
It's been a minute.
Year and a half, maybe? Almost 2 years?
Yeah, I would say about 2 years.
It's been 2 summers, so this will be our third summer, I think. So, yeah,
and you've been to a handful of parties. Yeah. Do you guys get out a lot to other parties and other groups and other, lifestyle functions?
I won't say a lot, but we do get out to other events. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, cool. So I guess what the whole kind of topic for today is the whole journey, how did you guys meet? Let's just start there. How did you all meet?
Well, our little catchphrase is it started with a bike ride.
Okay.
So for us, we actually met on a different app. I don't know what we can talk about app-wise, but we met on a different app.
Yeah, you can talk about anything. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we met on Kick, and that was kind of where it was
an adult chat.
It was an adult
/swingers
/ just hey, let's everybody get together and talk kind of chat.
Yeah.
And then this thing over here wanted to go for a bike ride, legit.
For those that don't know, you ride your Busa.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm an avid motorcyclist. I've always been in motorcycle my entire life.
So a motorcycle. Okay, cool.
A motorcycle ride.
Motorcycle.
Again, to clarify.
Yeah, we're not talking about like a 10-speed. Okay. I'm setting the scene. Okay. All right. Nice. Sons of Anarchy. And I'm picturing that. No.
But no, she wanted to go on a motorcycle ride. And long story short out of that is I showed up as an innocent young man that just wanted to take on a bike ride because she was adamant. And what I found was a very adventurous lady that was already in the lifestyle. I just didn't know to what extent. And she was already part of the poly world, and I did not understand the extent. So what I thought was just a bike ride, well, she had more plans to ride more than one thing that day.
Got you.
I did.
So, Ryane, you brought Mikey into the lifestyle.
No, he was already in the life. He had already been in the lifestyle for a number of years before we came.
Mikey, I guess I didn't understand. I thought you had said that she... Oh, so she brought you into polyamory, or what's the confusion there? Oh, okay, yeah. So not really the lifestyle, but a different.
No, the lifestyle I was in and out of was single male. Kind of floated around, just fit in where I fit in, kind of thing.
Okay.
But polyamory was definitely new.
But you had experience in the sexual or sex lifestyle, right?
Oh, yes. Without a doubt, yes. Okay. So I generally, as a single male, I played with couples. As a single straight guy, I was always that third person that kind of came in. We had our fun. I had I didn't bounce around from couple to couple, but I kind of stuck with, if a couple liked me, I kind of stuck with that couple until
you didn't.
Most of the time they just moved. Oddly enough, they was usually military couples that came to the area and they just moved. I don't know how to explain that, but that's just what happened.
Now, did you guys discuss any of that stuff? Like, Mikey, did you say, "Hey, I'm kind of a swinger," and did Ryane? Did you say I'm polyamorous?
It came up in conversation. So I've always been very communicative. I've always been very open. So I let her know, this is my experience in the past. And same thing with her. She kind of let me know where she was at. So I made sure there was no gray area there. I wanted her to know it's not new to me to be in the lifestyle. And then polyamory just kind of gave its own little twist to it. So it wasn't a surprise, I got something else for you to learn kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's on a kick chat, and there's kind of like sexy chat going on there too anyway, right?
Yes.
So it's no surprise, like, oh my God, you're polyamorous.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So Ryane, did you ever have any experience in the sex lifestyle or the swinger lifestyle or any
I did. My daughter's dad and I were in the lifestyle probably since like 2016.
Oh, okay.
Roughly. So yeah, he and I had been in it, and I actually started because of my curiosity to explore my bi side, and that's how it started for us.
I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So that's where where I entered into the lifestyle was actually through a friend of mine who I already knew was bi and was already in the lifestyle of it in some kind of way. And we actually met. We drove to Indianapolis and met her and her husband. Now the meeting was due to happen anyway.
I throw some miles down that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Was this the first? Was this the first time that you guys had tried to attempt to play together?
It was.
Like in this kind of way. Okay, gotcha. Proceed.
Yeah, and so that situation was a bit odd because she and I had the interest in each other, and of course he had interest in her. I had zero interest in her husband at the time.
Yeah.
Which kind of made it difficult, but we kind of prefaced the whole situation as this was more for her and I than it was for them.
Right.
So we had our experience. He got a little piece of the pie, not a whole lot. It was more like a blowjob here, and that was about it as far as his entrance into that. And then it kind of grew from there. We had some other friends that we talked to about it, and it grew from there. And then we found the kick world, and kind of went on from there.
So you would so I guess you would describe that as like a soft swap kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, between her and I, it would have been full on. I don't know what you consider
for the couple.
The couple, yes, that would have been a soft swap. Yes, yeah.
So I guess
a good intro.
Yeah. So I guess going back to this, just so I get the timeline. So he's taking you out on a bike ride. Everything's so exciting, right? And this is polyamorous chick, and this guy, he's lifestyle swinger, kind of like, do you date, or do you go immediately into this occurrence that you're talking about now? Like your first soft, swap, or is it like, is there a period of time where you just spend on each other, or did you immediately go into lifestyle?
So no, we didn't immediately get into lifestyle together.
No.
So for us, she was polyamorous. At the time that we met, she was married.
Mm-hmm.
She also had another partner, and then I came along.
Mm-hmm.
I was not supposed to be the guy that was more than a friends with benefits.
Yeah.
I was just to fill in because, she needed something extra. That's really how I came into the picture.
Yep.
Well, her and the husband split. when she still had her partner.
Nothing to do with this.
To do with me.
Zero to do with the situation.
Just something completely different. Okay.
It was already on its way.
Yes.
Okay. On its way out. Yep. Okay.
So she still maintained her other partner.
Yeah.
And then, I was still there in the picture. And then they split up. And, I was still there. But along the way, for me, as somebody that was just in the lifestyle and not familiar with poly, I had to learn a lot. So I'm very much an educational person. So I need to read, understand, put my hands around it. I need to experience it. I'm a very much hands-on person. So I needed to experience the whole emotional grappling of dealing with emotions I never had before. And this is a conversation we literally just had based off of a date experience I didn't have just now or recently. I had to cope with jealousy, which is something I never dealt with my entire life until her. I had to deal with envy, which is something I never dealt with my entire life until her. I had to deal with FOMO, which is something that most people deal with, but I never dealt with.
Fear of missing out. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So meeting her and seeing the polyamorous side of things had me understand that if I want to be a part of her life, then as a mono, and that's basically what I was at the time, a monogamous person, if I wanted her to be a part of my life and I wanted to be a part of hers, then I had to understand who she is and the lifestyle that she is in and all of those things. What I found at the end of the day was I may very well be fitting that same shoe. And to the point that we were just talking about a date that got canceled on me yesterday that I was going to go on myself as a poly person. So it's
have evolved.
It's an evolution, just like the lifestyle is. As couples come in, you set boundaries, you set rules, you go into events, you have conversations before the event of what you plan to do when you go to those events or what your thought process is when you get to them. And then you talk about it after the event. This is what happened, and
this is what we liked. This is what we didn't like. Yeah. This is what we won't do again.
Right. So, after you split, so if I can just interject for just a second, after you split, with your guy Ryan, did you guys just jump into poly, or did you just date together, exclusive? Is what I'm saying, without lifestyle or just a bunch of dates and just hanging out and
I think she stuck with the poly world.
Yeah.
Okay, so you immediately jumped in.
On us,
you did your research.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely were more focused on us for a good while.
But we still kept our heads about us, I guess, or I don't want to say our heads about us, but we still stayed open.
Yes.
To
cool.
Interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But we definitely focused
and then right, and then you kind of stepped away from the swinger side, is what you're saying, Mikey, and you became more poly, or did that eventually happen? Explain that kind of, if you could.
So, I guess in a sense, I stepped away. I paused the swinger side because I was more focused on her.
Right.
And then the poly side kind of evolved for me. It wasn't an overnight thing, and even then, it was baby steps. Hey, I'm going to go have lunch. I'm going to go do this, and it wasn't even for her.
As it should.
Was for me.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't for her. I wanted it to feel natural for me. And it has grown to that point where we're comfortable talking about, hey, we're going on a date, we're going to have lunch, we're going to do this, and it's going to be a possibility of shenanigans. I mean, we're we've gotten to that point where we've just been, our communication is such on point that if we say it, we hold ourselves to it, kind of thing.
That's interesting. Yeah, because now that I think about back to it, when we've hung out with you, Ryan's the one that's really talking about the poly stuff. And I think Mikey was more on the swinger side, and now he's talking to him today, he's talking way more about poly. So I think it's really cool to watch you evolve in that
No,
way.
he's evolved a lot.
And it makes sense because you came to our parties and you had a little bit of experience with Ryane. You had some experience with this swinger kind of thing, I guess you could call it. Okay. Do you find that do you find that you guys are stepping away from all of those lifestyle events, and you're just stepping into polyamorous, or is it kind of a little bit of both?
No, so I think we actively describe ourselves as poly swingers.
Yeah.
So we enjoy the swing lifestyle. We enjoy the friendship and connections the lifestyle gives us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we enjoy the relationship connections that the poly lifestyle gives us.
Yes.
So we find good friends, and we've got really good friends in the swing lifestyle.
Got
Most
you.
of our friends.
Okay.
That's where most of our friends have come from, is the swing
In
lifestyle.
all honesty.
Yeah.
But we still feel comfortable in both. We're not swaying one way or the other. And for us, it's made us a stronger relationship.
And I would like to welcome a special guest, Heather.
Yay!
Okay.
She really wanted us to drive there.
I know, she sure did.
Hey.
I just got back from playing pool.
No, I'm glad you're here.
The second I found out you guys were on, I was like, I have to be on.
All right, so let me kind of recap, and thank you for coming.
I've been watching. I've been listening the whole drive home.
Okay, so
I'm
we've
caught up.
kind of covered how they got into lifestyle, how they first met and everything. Now we're getting into like where they are now, I believe. Yeah.
I know that you guys have evolved from a lot of different levels, and I know there have been struggles in that evolution, right? What I want to dig into is, Ryane, I know you have an amazing relationship with your daughter's father and his partner, and I want to hear more about your journey through that struggle and the lifestyle and how you navigate parenthood with that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So honestly, it's not really a struggle at all. What's funny is I always say, anytime their anniversary comes up, which was recently, I always tell them you're welcome. God, that light is awful.
Like it's we're trying to figure out the light.
I'm trying not to make myself look so washed out. That's better. So whenever their anniversary comes up, I always tell them you're welcome. Because while we were still married, Mikey came along in Kick, but we also met his girlfriend, my daughter's father's girlfriend, on Kick as well. In the same group, actually.
Yes.
So what was funny and how that came about is, funny thing, y'all are both boob guys, his girlfriend came into the group, and it was an adult chat, so topless pictures, everything. And I had pulled it up and I was like, hey, look at her boobs. You should message her.
Ultimate wing woman.
Yeah. And so actually what the funny part is that I actually met her in person before he did. We had gone out to see a friend's band, and I met her, and we get along great. And so they started talking, and then eventually they started dating. I think then they were dating before you and I, or were we dating first?
We were dating first.
Yeah, I think we were dating first. Yeah. So, but as far as the swing lifestyle, I mean, they are not in it. Whereas he and I were, they are not.
Right.
He knows that I'm still in it. And has no issues whatsoever. So
as far as they go as co-parents, they're actually pretty phenomenal. And interesting enough is, he and I were friends before they split up. He and I are still friends now.
Mm-hmm.
And if he needs something and I can help, well, I'm there, and I have been, and same vice versa. So it's definitely, I feel like in a lot of ways, this is how the poly world works. You know, you all work together. It's co-parenting in one essence, but at the same time, you look at the grand scheme of polycules and how they function. It's kind of that same basis. You know, everybody gets along, regardless of what the situation is. If you work out or what have you, at the end of the day, you're still friends. You still work together. You still build, you know, the family up, and that's what's happened here.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so important, and I love that story. And can I ask, as a parent, how does your daughter feel about having all of these adults? Like, what is her interpretation of all of this?
It depends on what you ask, when you ask, and who you ask. Because, well, she's a teenager, so there's that.
And she was introduced
she's what?
to.
She's 13.
She's 13 now. So
13.
Her dad and I sat down and had the conversation with her. She was probably about
so she's probably 9. Yeah.
About 9. Yeah, probably around 9. When we sat down and at an age appropriate level, you know, talked to her about us being poly. You know, if she sees Mikey here, or if she sees her dad's girlfriend, you know, around, that it was okay. You know, we all talked.
Had she had the sex talk at that point?
No.
Birds and the bees. Okay.
No.
Okay.
And so we've we've always been open with her, even to this day, about things that probably parents don't talk to their kids enough about. Because, you know, this day and age, kids have access to everything. And I would rather her hear it from me or her dad or Mikey or his girlfriend before she hears it from her friends, which could be very incorrect information. And she's even said before, you know,
day now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And so, you know, even when her dad and I were still together, you know, you talk to her friend, oh yeah, my mom has a boyfriend, you know, and like it was nothing, you know, like it was normal. So, and even still, you know, I think she kind of gets a kick out of it every now and again. If, you know, if I do have another partner, well, my mom has 2 boyfriends, you know.
So it's like a little bit of riz
to go around
right?
Blaring it to the world, but we don't hide it either.
Plus, I think
as far as that goes, the poly lifestyle, she is very aware of. The swing lifestyle, not so much. We haven't gotten in, you know, she's 13, so there's not really a whole lot to discuss there quite yet.
She really wants to wear the Amore shirts because it means love.
This is okay.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
She wanted to know why she couldn't wear my
kids are more accepting. Yeah, I think kids are more accepting of lifestyle.
Well, we may have to come out with a secret line. Yes. For, you know, vanilla friendly line.
Yes.
If you know, you know.
She asked me one day why she couldn't wear my Amore sweatshirt to school.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
No.
It means love, but
yeah.
No.
Let's
you may be getting a call from social services. I don't know.
Yeah. So,
I'm grateful that our kids don't really know, but they always ask what upside down pineapples are and all that stuff.
You know, it's funny because I will say that most of us swingers and people in lifestyle, most of us are parents. We have children, and this is an important topic to address with, you know, parents across the spectrum. You know, no matter how old your children are.
So true, yeah.
I feel like at some point they're going to figure it out. If not on their own, then if you tell them or they find out or something is going to happen. And it's important to have a plan in place, right? For when that does. And it all comes back to like how you raise them. And I think it's really amazing that you're raising her to be an open-minded, loving individual, you know, who doesn't discriminate. And yeah, that's amazing. And that's what we're striving to do with our boys. But boys, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
boys.
She's even gone as far as, you know, coming to me and telling me she has a crush on a girl at school. You know, like, I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's, do you, boo? Like, if that's what you like, then I said, but don't nail yourself down right now. You're still exploring. You have an entire lifetime ahead of you to figure things out.
Yeah. So can I ask you a question? I'm sorry if you've already covered it, but do you have any live-in partners now?
No.
Or do you
I'm the
talk
closest thing
about
now.
dating
Yeah,
others?
he's
Right.
neither of us have
Do you-
additional partners right now.
They're on the
openly-
market, people. They're on the market.
But you do openly talk
Yes.
about it. But you do openly talk about it, with your children. Like,
Yes.
Mikey might be having a date.
So I
Ryane
think-
might be having a date.
Yeah, so like with Ryan, she will say, "Hey, I'm going out with, have lunch with a friend or something like that."
Right.
But it's not a, "Hey, I'm going to bring somebody over every night of the week" kind of thing. It's
No.
if that comes to a point where she feels like it progresses to something more serious, then Scarlett would be introduced, and
Yes.
then that's a conversation for us as well. So it's
Right,
not
that's what I was
it's
getting
Ryan's
at. Okay.
decision, but it's our decision at the same time.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
This might seem totally random, and maybe it's just my ignorance speaking, but as a poly couple, is there a limit to the number of partners that you would reasonably entertain as, sustainable
Well, that's up to
and
them.
present in
Yeah.
your life? What, like,
So
I don't know. Two
there's
people,
a definition
three people,
called
10 people?
polysaturation.
Yeah.
So there's a definition called polysaturation. And that is not dictated by a number. That is dictated by the
Okay.
individual. So that person can have two people, but life and those two people saturate them. Or a person could just be carefree and have a freaking whole,
Yeah.
I don't know what the term is I want to use.
I
but
don't know, but
they can have a whole lot.
like in some of the poly groups
commune.
that we're in, there's I've seen people have 4 or 5 partners, and they may be live-in, they may be local, they may be long distance, they have what they call comets, which are people that they may talk to significantly every day, and they live
across the ocean.
across the ocean, and they might only see them twice a year. There's
Yeah.
so many different variations of what partners could be, and like Mikey said, it's really dependent on the actual person and their time,
And I think
how they can manage their time.
Yeah, and I think it's important to acknowledge that a lot of people think poly is only about sex, but sometimes you could have a partner that you don't have sex with at all, and you might just meet
That's
them,
correct.
like you were saying, 2 times
Yeah.
a year, and it's
Yeah.
just a social,
be more-
like a friendship, but it also a relationship.
More of an emotional connection versus a physical
More of an
connection.
emotional,
Absolutely.
yeah.
But the concept is the possibility is always there of that physical connection,
Yes.
right? Right.
It is.
No, that-
So, I mean,
that is
Because
the point.
otherwise, what would right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what would differentiate that from your best friend?
Yeah. No, that's the point.
Well,
to have
and
it
I think that's
in.
what kind of
Yeah.
separates the poly from,
Mhm.
monolife.
Right.
So you do have people in the poly world that are strictly neuro. So they only have that mental connection. They really relate on that level. They have no sexual connection whatsoever. And I think they call them atypical.
Asexual.
Okay.
So you do
Yeah.
have people on that level where they don't have that sexual connection, but they have that mental and emotional capacity.
Mhm.
And so it's not always sexual. And that's the thing about poly. You can have people you just have that wonderful friendship with, but there's a lot of love in that friendship. It's no different than, and I don't know if this is appropriate, but it's no different than your siblings. You love your siblings, but you're not going to go beyond I love
Right.
you.
Of course.
And that's kind of where you're at with some friendships, and that's what makes the poly world so great.
A little bit like a place in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much.
Right.
That's so interesting that you say that, because David and I we're not poly. We're not at that level. But I can honestly say that I feel genuine love for a good portion of our membership.
Mhm.
They've become really
Mhm.
close friends.
Yeah.
They've all played roles in our lives, and I
Mhm.
feel really genuine love with them. But at the same time, some of them I maybe don't want to play with,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah. So I could be polyemotional. I got the love. I'll spread the love.
No, I totally get it. Yeah.
But
No, and I totally get it.
Lifestyle
No, that's why we have. Yeah, and I totally get it. That's why I called Amore love, essentially, because we're all here because we love ourselves for who we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Or working on it.
And on top of that, most of the party is just hanging out and talking. It's not.
Yes.
Yeah, a good portion of them are. Yeah.
So it is all about having connections and, you know, friendships. And if it doesn't get intimate or sexual, at least you'll leave with a good friend, which it's not poly, but so, and I've always been that kind of person where I wanted to be poly. I got a chance to try it, but it didn't work for me because I kind of just always wanted that one. I always, like, if I was dating 3 girls, I would always just end up with the one girl, you know, by
Your
the
favorite.
by the end of the time I was poly. So it just worked, you know, it's just that way. But do you find, like, at least, you know, with Ryane, did you always desire to have more? Because, like, I kind of feel like I desire just to have one and some other little friends on the side, but just, like, very seldomly. And I don't want to be shallow, but I don't want a super deep relationship with the people I play with.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's absolutely fair.
Yeah, and so for me, I do value the connection more than the physical aspect of it when it comes to play. And I have to build that comfort level and trust with the person. On the random one-offs do happen.
It's not to say
the random one-offs do happen. I will not deny that. But I feel like thinking back, even through like high school, I feel like I have always been poly. I just didn't know that there was another term for it, because while I was with one person, I still could develop feelings for somebody else, but it didn't change how I felt about the person I was with. But at that point in time, it was emotional cheating. You know, it wasn't active. We didn't know about it, or it wasn't talked about. So I feel like thinking back on my previous relationships, going back to high school, that I probably have always been poly.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it was.
So poly is really emotional cheating with permission. Right?
Well, I
mean, right? It's just you have permission.
I guess
but if there's permission, then it's not cheating.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's ethical.
You can't get in trouble if they watch.
It's just like lifestyle. Yeah, you beat me to it.
It's no, it's ethical, non-monogamous.
So Ryane, I love you and I would do stuff with you. Does that mean we're poly?
No. And I love you too, but no, that does not.
Yeah.
And I think that's
love
where
that.
So poly and swinging get thrown under the same umbrella. Ethical, non-monogamy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the difference.
Right.
There is a difference.
Yes.
Big difference.
There's a huge difference.
There's a line that both can kind of come up to, but once you
they can overlap a little bit, but
you gotta figure out the ones.
Well, we're both.
Yeah.
Though.
But we're both.
We are both.
But
yeah.
I
mean, it does
it's
overlap,
unique.
you know.
It has things that you enter so for both, you can enter the kink community. You can enter
BDSM.
Well,
I guess that's
the
kink. Yeah.
Part.
Well, yes and no.
But in a lot of essence, you know, there is that overlap. So you do for some people in the lifestyle, you do need an emotional connection, or at least some kind of connection
Some
there.
kind of connection.
Whereas poly, it's definitely more down to the heart.
Yeah.
So you end up with some cross there, but they both get thrown under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
Which really blurs lines for people, because they say, well, I want to sleep with multiple people, but that makes me poly.
There is something called poly.
No.
There is something called poly swing. Do you guys know what that means, or is anybody in the chat want to look that up for us real
Poly
quick? 'Cause
swinging?
we don't.
I mean, that's pretty much.
No, it's
that's where we are.
That's where we are, you know,
No,
because we are still swingers.
no, poly
We
swing
enjoyed a connection
is
before.
something I've heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could be poly, but still have just a little bit of physical fun on the side, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the poly relationship.
being honest with your partner. So for instance, if I would say if Mikey had a partner that wasn't in the swing lifestyle, that would be something that he would discuss with them, because we are, to say, hey, you know, that person may not have zero interest in it, but this is where we're at, and you know, we still follow the same rules that we would follow if it were just us. Is, you know, you communicate, you follow your rule set, you know, you respect boundaries, use protection, be safe, you know, all of the same things, but just know that that opportunity for us is still going to be there, regardless of whether we have another partner or not.
Or even if,
and it's so important. Yeah. That's so important in
say,
terms of the sexual health conversation, you know?
Yes.
You need to disclose to your partners if you're still going to go have fun on the side, right?
Exactly.
So it's really important.
Yeah, you have open communication. You know, I'm sure you guys share a calendar. You know, I mean, I'm sure it's on the calendar if you guys are dating somebody. Or...
I got Susie Friday. You got John on Tuesday.
No, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We don't. I mean, our dates are very few and far between.
Yes. So,
I didn't know. Okay.
Very selective.
Well,
we're not seeking out.
Yeah.
We are more of the. We are not seeking out if we are. I won't say presented with an opportunity, but if the opportunity presents itself to us, then we'll, you know, consider where we're at. But we don't go out seeking. We're not, you know, looking to go on multiple dates every week or every month or whatever it is. Okay. So, you know, we definitely are, I don't know what the right word is for that.
Open. That tells me that
open.
You guys, it just tells me that you guys are totally, completely 100% happy. And then if anything else happens, so be it. But
yes, exactly.
And that's the important thing about poly, right? Everything else should enhance everything. So if you find another partner that fills another bucket, that should make you a better person to your first partner.
Well, I got a question.
Right?
Yeah, okay. So are you guys looking for someone to share or individual partners currently? So you're not, or are you not looking at all?
Interesting enough, this was a very, very today conversation.
Hours before conversation.
So, and we both said, you know, neither one of us are looking for anything particular. Mm-hmm. So if it becomes a male or female that wants to join us, you know, it's a, you know, they're just as much a part of the relationship as we are. Because one, that's the most ethical way to go about things, and two, that's an individual that wants to be part of who we are. At the same time, and I'll use this as an example because it's pretty fresh for me, is I just had conversations. I admin a group on another platform, and I was actually in conversation with somebody else, and the question came up: would it be okay if she met Ryane?
Right.
I'm like, you are more than welcome to do so. I have nothing to hide. I want you to meet her. I want my life to be happy. I want your life to be happy. I want everybody to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, that's just kind of where it goes. You know, you don't want anybody to feel like, you know, they're being forced or coerced into a situation. You don't want us to be comfortable either. Everybody is meant to be, you know, happy. So to say we're looking for an individual or a couple, I can't say that.
No.
We're looking to be happy. Yeah. It's not about us looking. As if a conversation comes along that happens and we get to where we are, then we get to where we are.
Yeah, and I think we're more open to dating separately. Yeah. I think that's just natural.
Yeah, I
guess if somebody came along that, you know, hit both of our buckets in the same way or even a different way, maybe one for you, one for me, and, you know, and it worked out, I wouldn't say that it would be out of the question, but I think for us it's more natural to.
I think for most people it's more natural to be
separately.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are some that just strictly just like swinging, there are just the couples that say we play together, we stay together, we stay together, we play together. That's it. So, there are some couples that are truly seeking a single female or single male to join them. I mean, you all have seen the posts and stuff in other groups. So, but I think for us, it's a bit more, and he's 4 hours away most times. So for us to actually maintain a relationship with a third person, with both of us, I feel like would be
a challenge.
Fairly difficult.
Would be a logistical
nightmare.
Now, I do want to just say for any listeners here, I don't know if it was mentioned at the beginning, you guys do not live together. Mike, you're in Charleston.
Well, yeah.
Ryane, you're in Raleigh. That's a bit of a hike. So I just, for anyone who I don't know if it was mentioned at the beginning.
No, it was not actually.
Okay. So you basically are maintaining a long distance relationship, even though you guys, I know, try to see each other as much as you possibly can.
Yes. 5 years next week.
Right. Wow. So that just adds another level to the challenge, and a testament to if you love someone, it's going to work out, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And communication is everything. I mean, in all honesty, it really is. It's communication, but you can't build trust without that communication. You can't have trust without, knowing that the person that's talking to you is telling you and can show, those things to you. Yep. So, again, we've had a lot of conversation today, and it just became because of my situation. Yeah. It opened up a lot of doors for us. So we talk a lot. We talk about everything, including scenarios that could be. And even when we go to events, it's the same thing.
Yeah. When we go to parties, if we're going to a party, on the way, it's 2 hours to Concord.
We have 2 hours to have a conversation about what we want for tonight or what we think could happen.
Yeah, that's so important.
Or
anybody that's going to be there that we may be interested in, and say, hey,
Now I know it's impossible. It's impossible to encompass everything that could possibly happen at an event. I know it's not been all hearts and roses the entire journey. And I know that there's been a little bit of learning curve as far as on the kink side of things, right?
Yes.
Along the way.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how that evolved?
I think on my side, it was actually easier than it was on her side.
Well, start from the beginning.
So on the swing side of things, it when you don't have the emotions tied to it, it's really, really easy. So you can say, hey, I want to try this and I want to do this. And, you take the emotion out of it. So it makes that either just a learning experience or a very fun learning experience. So you can take that however you wish. But when you tie the emotions up into it and you want to see your partner enjoy themselves and, explore themselves a little bit, for me, I want Ryane to do and be. It's always been that case. But I'm also a protector. So I will be there to an extent until I'm comfortable. And then once I'm comfortable, I'll back off. Hey, good luck. Have fun. And the environment creates that comfort level. So like at Amore parties, the environment gives you that to where I don't worry about her. And if you've seen us gradually over time, it was always us two next to each other. It wasn't me chasing her or her chasing me. We was actually chasing each other. To now where Ryan's somewhere that way, I'll see her in a little bit. She'll make a rounds. Or Mikey's that way.
Yeah.
I know you're being really general right now, but I want to get into it. Like, Ryane, you like to be spanked, yes?
Yes, very much so.
And the whole BDSM side, Mike, you weren't as familiar with that, right? So you had to get some education and you had to wrap your mind around it. Tell us about that.
I did.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I have always been told you do not strike a woman.
Right,
Always.
right.
No
That's huge. Yeah.
So this one, breaks out a crop one night and says, "Smack me with it." I legit cringed when I did. I did it. I was way outside of my comfort zone and I had no clue what the hell I was doing. Yeah. So I did. And she gave me a few choice words trying to encourage me, and it really didn't help. But I also understood that there's something more to this. So after that, I say a good couple of months after that, I started breaking into the psychological side of it, the endorphins, the relaxation, the submitting, I really broke into it. And then from there, I learned a lot about her, more than anything else, but I also learned a little bit about myself. And also learned a lot about material because I dug into, what am I using? The weights, the material, the length, the tips, stuff along those lines.
But not so much about what the toys to use, but how did you wrap your mind around what you were brought up to believe versus what you were giving your partner?
So I guess to start off with, you was taught not to ever strike a woman.
Yeah.
Right. So how'd you change?
But it changed because you see the excitement, you see relaxation, you see her actually submit to you. You see her kind of giving in and just being free.
And it's what she wanted.
Well, how did that make you feel?
Yeah, that's
I enjoyed it. And that's the part I think that kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah.
It was, I enjoyed it. And that's what drove me into the learning aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I enjoy it,
what more is there?
How can I enjoy it to not inflict serious harm, like to inflict pleasure?
Right.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Right.
And that's so cool that you were able to evolve in rather kind of a quick, period of time for your lover.
What do you think? How much time before you're like, okay, I know what she wants, and I know how to do it?
6 months, a year.
Yeah. It was a little while. I mean,
up until recent, I have. So as
Ryan's
far as
like 99%. You're not there yet, okay?
Oh no,
She's training him.
So he's definitely there.
So up until, I say about 6 months to get to the point where I actually felt comfortable to say, you know what, not only can I handle your flogging and your spankings, but I'm also okay with if somebody else asks me to do it too, which we've seen at events.
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know.
But again, it's not just, their comfort level, it's also mine. And
I just want to say for our listeners, our listeners right now, Mikey is a fast learner, y'all. Okay.
Yeah. What's that mean? I don't get it.
I try to be. I really do. Yeah. I study on the fly. I promise.
Yeah. All right.
That is amazing. You guys have had such an incredible journey with ups and downs, but what has been the biggest struggle overall? I know you've had the learning curve with the kink and then the poly and then navigating family with that. Between the two of you, what has been your biggest struggle? And if you've overcome it, how did you do it?
Biggest struggle. This is a big question.
I know. I mean, there's always struggles, right? Every other week there's a struggle, but
as far as the poly and lifestyle world, I would have to say it was more on my side, and it's actually becoming a thing for her, which is jealousy. Is the fear of missing out.
The big green monster.
No, the fear of missing out. Yeah. No, I get that.
So, and I don't think for me it's less of the jealousy. So he's going along with like, I've had other partners, and was married when we met. So he came into the relationship with me knowing I'm already poly, but for the great majority of our relationship, he has been monogamous. So other than, the swing lifestyle, obviously. But now I'm having to go through the emotional journey of him going on potential dates and what may come from that, which is completely new. So going through my emotional roller coaster of, okay, well, you know, and this has been a big topic, you know, for a long time, is, you know, because we are long distance and his work schedule is very hectic and unpredictable, that if another partner comes into the picture, our time is already limited. What is
he
that?
barely got time for you. How are we going to fit in another partner?
Mikey, you must be really going with the FOMO because you guys are so apart, or both of you must go with the deal with the FOMO because you guys live apart. Like, you only see each other for like 2 times a week, or what's the timing? Like, is it a weekend?
It really varies. So my work schedule is hectic. So it might be, so I work a 4-on 4-off schedule, and I might be able to come up one day out of those 4 that I'm off, or I might not be able to come up at all. It just really depends.
Because I would be thinking, oh my God, Heather's sucking a dick over there. I'm sure she is, and we're 3 hours away. Oh my God.
But FOMO isn't so much missing out on that time that you're apart. FOMO is the thought process of, my partner is doing something that I wish I could do.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
it's
so
jealousy. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But you literally can't because you're 3 hours away. I mean, that's a tough one. Yeah.
So we had this conversation. Again, today has been a big conversation day for us just because of my recent events.
Yeah.
That opened up doors for others. We have conversations only meant to be a 30-minute conversation. It opens up so many doors, it ends up being a 4-hour conversation. So, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
But I do think that the jealousy aspect of it is one thing. FOMO is probably one of the biggest parts of it. At the end of the day, it's not, you shouldn't really worry about missing out. Because one partner, you can have an experience with one partner and enjoy going bowling. We'll use that with a partner. Well, you can go bowling with your other partner and have a totally different experience. It's just who you're with and how you're doing it and everything else. So it should never be a situation where it's FOMO. It should be a situation of, I can't wait till we can.
Right. I love playing pool with you, babe, but I'll play pool with anybody. I'm sorry.
But would you be
sorry?
Because I love playing pool.
Right, but would you be jealous if I decided to go play pool without you?
No.
Like, would you?
Yes, I would be jealous because
missing
pool
out.
is a thing,
But fear of missing out, seeing me play pool and have fun.
Honestly, I would want you to go ahead and play other people at pool and get better at pool so that I didn't beat you.
Okay. No, I think
and that right there is what we call polyamory.
No, my FOMO.
We should all learn and explore and bring those skills home.
If I may just say, I feel like my FOMO is missing out on seeing my partner have fun. And I don't think like videos and pictures works for me.
Yeah.
I just want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather watch the movie than hear about the movie.
There have been times when, a dick has landed in my mouth and he's like, damn it, I wish I was there. Yeah. But there have also been times when the same has happened to him and I'm like, damn, I wish I was there.
So anyway,
and there's been times where we saw the pictures ourselves and we're like, damn, I wish we were there. I mean,
right? But realistically, it's impossible to plan that out, especially for you guys. You don't even live together.
It is hard. And
so that is
bring
hard.
it.
Let's talk about solutions here.
And you can't grudge them. Dude, I'm off Friday night. Yeah. I'm sorry you got to work, right?
So how do you deal with FOMO? Like, how do you guys deal with it? And
you understand that just because your partner is having that experience somewhere else with someone else, it doesn't mean that you can't have that same experience with them.
It doesn't diminish. right? It doesn't diminish your relationship.
It does not take away from what you have. It doesn't take away from who you are. It doesn't take away from what y'all are.
And I think it comes down to communication. He could go be doing something with somebody else, and I could, actually convey my feelings on or my thoughts on what he's going to do if I'm actually told about what they're doing. That's
right.
Another thing. But and then that's something that we communicate about. Okay, and he can reassure me of yes, I understand that you want, you may want to do this, and maybe we can plan it another time. That would be my solution to it.
Well, right. And I used an example I used with her earlier again.
So it made me cry. I think.
So I think that one brought you.
It did. It brought me to tears.
So I have a big thing about helicopter rides.
Oh no, that was different.
Wait, helicopters? What?
So I have a big thing about helicopters.
He likes to ride a helicopter.
Oh, I like to ride helicopters.
If I go to a new city, especially a big city, I will take a helicopter tour. It's my way of seeing the world. It's something I've always done, regardless of where I go. New place, helicopter ride. Mm-hmm. I have taken her on a helicopter ride. Two, actually, yeah.
Two. We've been on two.
I've taken on 2 helicopter rides.
That seems like a
there's
special
nothing
thing.
To say. What's that?
It seems like a special thing. I've never been on a helicopter ride, so it seems like a
But for me, it's a thing for me, so I want to share that experience with her.
Right.
But because I shared it with her, some people think that I should not be able to share it with somebody else. Whereas in my case, I think it's an experience that I want to see for myself, and I want to share it with somebody else. So the fear of missing out is saying that only she can go, or she gets upset because I take somebody else with me.
Right.
It's not that. It's the same experience with 2 different people that I get to see once, twice. And, I get to introduce, I get to feel it from their perspective as well.
Right.
That's where you weigh the value of what you experience it as, and maybe how often, versus the value of her experience. This is a once in a lifetime thing, and whether or not they want that experience to be exclusive to them because it was so special. So you have to weigh that, right? If you've been on 10,
think about that too,
15 helicopter rides, then it's not a big deal to you. But for someone else, it could be a world changing, right? So you have to weigh that and what it means to your partner to determine what you do next.
But you have to think about, okay, yes, it's a once in a lifetime for my partner. Mm-hmm. But if I bring on another partner and it's a once in a lifetime thing for them, but it's something I normally do, then.
But it's about what you want to hold sacred. I've heard that in polyamorous relationships, there are certain things you'd like to hold sacred, right? That one partner is like, this is just for me.
It does that?
So it's just a matter of, does that fall in that category?
Which actually leads into the next part of that conversation. Right. So the next part of that conversation was motorcycles. Again, I've been around motorcycles my entire life.
Yep.
And in the normal biker world, once you're dating somebody, that person's the only person on the back of your bike.
Right.
However, in the poly world, at least in my eyes, that changes.
Don't judge me. I'm feeling my
However, I am unique to that situation because, I have multiple motorcycles. So Ryane has her motorcycle, and this girl that I was going to take on a date, it was commented on that she could ride that bike. Well, to me, that's okay because Ryane hasn't ridden on that bike.
Yeah.
Right.
So Ryane will probably always be the only person on my Busa. And if somebody comes along and wants to model and ride and straddle this other bike, well, they can model and ride and straddle that. But they better damn well make sure they're going to straddle me in the process.
And I'm okay with that.
And she's okay with that. But the Busa is hers.
But the Busa is mine. That's my
Is that what you would call
no Busa for Heather? Okay.
Hierarchy?
Sorry. No. Here's the thing. Here's the caveat. The caveat is, if I, say you are in the area and he has his bike and you're like, oh, I really want to go on a ride. And I could be like, go take Heather on a ride.
That's different.
That's different.
But
even if it's
me
the
to
Busa,
dedicate, you can ride on the Busa.
I would let you ride the Busa.
And the Busa rider if you really
But
want.
you might need to straddle him too.
Yeah.
I could probably make it happen. But it it does go back to even the basics of swinging. You know how couples start out in swinging and they have all these arbitrary rules like no kissing, or no making out, or whatever. And
we
there are
by all
some.
means, we started out kind of that same way of,
same room,
same, you
Right.
gotta let me know
Right.
and let me to the point of, hey, I trust your judgment. Now we're at the point of I trust your judgment. I'll swing by and I might check on you, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We're not.
But there are some
we have
parallels.
evolved in that as well.
Yeah. So I would consider you guys a more evolved couple as far as polyamory goes, when compared with just swinging,
and the swinging
right?
too. No, they do
So-
that swing as well, and the
swinging-
BDSM. They do a lot.
Yeah, so swinging,
Very
BDSM, whatever, starts
Yeah.
out with very basic rules like no kissing or
Right.
whatever the basic rules might be. But some things are sacred in that relationship, and it evolves even into polyamory. Some things are sacred with you two.
Yes.
That, it means more if you were to share this one aspect of your relationship with another person. It means more. It means there's a deeper level there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can, suck Mikey's dick, but to have an all access pass or to ride his Busa, it's a meaningful connection. It means that you've progressed to the next level, right?
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
And that's just like with Ryane. There's certain things that, I only have access to. And that's not me saying it, that's her saying it.
Right.
Yeah.
But, anybody can walk up behind her and smack her ass. Or, anybody can spread her legs apart and have a buffet. But
With
there's
consent.
Well, yes. With consent. But there's still certain aspects, even in the sexual aspect, that is only for me.
Right. And I think that that's an important parallel to draw. Even with the swinger world, we all have kids. I'm not going to invite anyone over to have a vanilla day with my kids, right? You have to be.
We have.
But that signifies a
What are you
deeper
talking about?
level of relationship. Even if we don't play with them, we'll have them over and play with our kids. And that means we trust you and we value you in the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Even if there isn't a level of play there. I think that that's so important to understand, is that in the entire umbrella of E&M, that sense of community and friendship and whatever relationship there is really important. It's not all DTF.
No, we have friends that come over. We don't have sex with them. Yeah.
And that's why, I'm just going to go out and say it. DTF people do not succeed in Club Amore.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Well, and that's the thing, too.
They don't.
Yeah.
No,
they don't.
They
don't.
I feel like we're getting way off track here.
Sorry.
I do think in that aspect, there's a whole stigma.
It's true.
Yes.
But I don't think friendship has anything to do with polyamorous. I don't. These folks are getting way deeper than just regular friendships. Like we'll have friends over, and we'll tell them, hey, don't talk about lifestyle stuff in front of the kids. No kissing, no touching. We do that, but that's as far as it goes. Like there's no deep
but the
emotions,
fact that we would invite them over implies a deeper connection. We're trusting them around our children.
Okay,
Heck
sure.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would say, you're not just going to invite some random
stranger. No strangers. No.
It doesn't.
No,
it doesn't put you under that poly umbrella, but it puts.
But that's not polyamorous.
Yeah.
But it's poly
It's
in
not
the
poly.
sense that there is an emotional connection there, because I'm sorry, when your kids are my house, they're my kids. I'm going to love them and take care of them and do everything for them the same as any other kid of mine or in the neighborhood, right? So there is a connection there. It might not be sexual, but there's a connection.
It's not poly, though.
It's not the same.
Agree
It's
to
not
disagree.
the same. No, I would say it's not the same.
I get what you're saying, but that's also called a very good, solid friendship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But you guys said earlier that, you would form this deep emotional connection and never ever play, but you might see them twice a year. Are you just saying that there's undertones there that are not present with my relationships?
No, it's a good question.
Like, is it just the tension that's
What
always
is the difference?
present?
Yeah, that's a good question. What's
the
the difference?
possibility that there might be.
It's a very solid question.
No, it is definitely a solid question. I mean, and to be honest, I don't know. I've never experienced that. I just know that it's out there.
So you can
Because every single person I interact with, I picture them naked and I wonder what it would be like to play with. And sometimes I reject the notion and sometimes I embrace the notion, but I'm saying the notion is there every time.
Well, I think some of those people are asexual too.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to picture them naked and wonder what it would be like every time.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just
right?
to acknowledge they're asexual.
We brought the entertainment.
No, so think about it like this. So if you took away the lifestyle, you took away poly. All right. Let's say you were just your basic couple in a suburban lifestyle. Okay. You lived the Jane Smith life, and you had your neighbors that you invited over for your barbecue. You're friends with them, and you sent your kids over there to their place to enjoy, jump on a trampoline, play in a pool.
Yeah.
They sent their kids over. That doesn't make you poly. That makes you friends. That makes you close friends. It's no different from the friends that you work with. You have your work friends that I promise you will never go beyond the work life.
Right.
Then you have your work friends that you're okay with hanging out with.
Yeah.
After.
Yep.
That doesn't make you poly.
Yeah.
That makes you friends.
Right.
So
It
you
doesn't.
can have
However,
Hold on. But that's interesting because polyamorous folks describe it as buckets. They're people. They are dating folks that are in different buckets, right?
They fill your different buckets.
Yeah, they fill different buckets, right?
Yeah. So a big thing with poly. A big thing with poly is, so let's say, just as a very big example, Mikey likes horror movies, and I absolutely do not.
We can have
a partner.
Yeah, I don't care for him either.
Yeah, but he may have a partner that absolutely loves them and will absolutely go with him to watch horror movies.
And we might get off while we're watching a horror movie.
But that is a bucket that I cannot fill for him. But that is a bucket that I wouldn't be able to fill for him. So that's a very vague, general thing. But
of course.
Goes to, just think something that he cannot, one person cannot fulfill your every need. This is the one thing that I've always said, is one person cannot fulfill your every need. And in a monogamous relationship, you choose for yourself what you're willing to forego.
True.
That your partner cannot fulfill. That gets pushed to the back. And maybe in time, something comes up and your partner can fulfill it. But for the most part, it doesn't get fulfilled. So that's where part of polyamory comes in, is you really, really, really want that bucket filled, and you want to find somebody that can fill it for you.
And
that doesn't take away from your existing partner. Right. But they don't like it. They don't want to do it. They can't do it for whatever reason.
And they're actually happy that you found somebody to do it with. So that's where things like
that genuine compersion is so important.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to acknowledge something. Jen C, she said, it takes a village to raise kids. I promise you, you are absolutely right in that. I used the Suburbans example just because it felt perfect.
Yeah.
But it definitely does. And, it takes a village to be happy too.
Yeah.
And in a poly world, that's kind of how you get there.
Yeah.
The lifestyle does it too.
Yeah.
But for us in the poly world, it's just, it hits different, if it makes sense.
It's more deep.
And I told this to somebody that the poly world is designed to enhance an individual, to make an individual feel full. The lifestyle is designed to make the couple, to enhance that couple and to make them feel full. So,
I like that.
So for the poly world, I want to be happy. It may take more than one person to do that. To be honest with you, it might take 3 people to do that. In the swing lifestyle,
you can't keep.
But in a swing lifestyle, a couple is looking to enhance themselves. So it could be,
right.
I might get off my rocks off, or I might enjoy seeing her play with somebody else, or she might learn something from somebody else she played with and bring it back to the bedroom with me. So the way I look at being a poly swinger is I'm enhancing myself as poly. We're enhancing us as swingers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's a beautiful thing. And I want to tell everyone that David and I, we want to enhance us phase of life. So I think that's why we're more on the swinger side of things. We want to enhance us as well as our individual needs, that other people can fill.
Yeah, I've always been there.
It's an amazing thing.
See, that's the thing, and that's why I think I tried poly and it didn't work for me, because for me, lifestyle is being in a partnership without others.
It's a team
in the
sport.
Relationship. It's just
absolutely,
definitely a team sport.
It definitely is
team sport.
But I think
I don't have a desire for any other buckets to be filled. I don't have a desire to have.
Ain't nobody can cook dinner and parent his
deep,
kid like
intimate
me. So
connections
polyamory
with
is just
other
not gonna work. All right.
But that doesn't mean I'm bad. It's just the way I'm wired.
No.
So I really think a lot of us are born this way. And then we get in this weird conversation about, are you born that way? Did you have a choice?
Wrap it up.
We don't need to get there. We're going to wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
But,
well,
it serves a point that some people are just meant to be this way,
But don't
I think
discount evolution.
Naturally wired, naturally.
Yeah, but don't discount evolution.
I really do think, and this goes on exactly what I was going to say, was I really think that some people think that I'm just going to be poly.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works.
It's not a mindset.
It's not a mindset. It really is. I feel like it, like David said, you're either wired that way or you evolve and you learn into it, truly learn versus just saying, oh, well, I'm poly.
Yes.
Because 9 times out of 10, that's not going to work.
And, kids these days, 3 out of 10 of them are poly. They don't even know what it means. They have no clue.
It's not a fashion. It's
So
not
I will tell you, my first
like
introduction
that.
to poly, and you mentioned kids, my first introduction to poly was my youngest. She came to me one day, and she came to me teary-eyed because she didn't know how I would take it.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Dad, I'm pansexual." I said, "Okay,
I
baby.
still have to Google that.
I still support you. I love you." I had no clue what the hell she said.
I still have to Google it. I do.
I had to Google it. And then that's when things went click. Okay, she's pansexual. She loves everybody, regardless of sex, race, age, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so no, that's not me. Okay.
So when she came to me with that was my first kind of little clue into poly, and then this thing came along. But I didn't understand, but I was still supportive of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like the lifestyle. It's just like bis. It's just like straights. It's like trans. Just because I'm a straight person doesn't make me against anybody. I love everybody. I'm not pansexual per se, but everybody is who they are. Be who you are, and be happy in that.
Yeah.
The
so
way
when you mentioned the
way I
kids
understand
that kind of brought me to that. I'm like, crap. I remember that.
The way I understand pansexual is someone explained it to me like this: you can watch somebody dance, and it doesn't matter what sexuality they are. If you're really into the way they dance, you start to get attracted to them, and it's just the act of dancing and the way
that's a dead ass way to put that. Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if I've ever said this, but I think I lean that way because I can find something attractive about almost everybody.
Yeah.
There could be someone that'd be like, hell no, I would never play with him in 100 years, but he's got that one thing. You know, everybody has that one.
That one hair flicks up that way.
Yeah, that little hook, right? But I just want to say that I am completely entranced by y'all's story. Yeah. And I know there is more to it. There are so many more questions I want to ask. So I would like to leave this open for a part 2 at some point.
Sure.
Where we can follow up on your story and how things have evolved. And
we'll have better video because this is really bugging me.
Yeah, we may have to buy a camera because this one is not
You're
that good.
Or you can just fucking come over here and we can all sit together.
Oh, there's that too.
There is that too. We could plan that.
Do it in the hot tub. Hot tub conversations. Yeah, we'll do it in the hot tub.
Oh.
We're gonna try.
Ignore me because my head's gonna be looking. Oh, never mind.
He's gonna be glowing.
Well, ignore me if I disappear off camera for a minute.
Oh, there you go.
But, okay, so maybe that would work. I don't know.
At the very least, we love you guys. We'd love to have you on, but it's been an hour and a half, and we're gonna.
We love you guys. We miss you.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you for being part of Amore and for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Have a fantastic rest of your week, and hopefully, I get to see you soon.
All right.
Definitely.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right.